The second part of this episode of Everything You Missed is rated PG-13. Viewer discretion is advised. All that being said, I'm making this video as family friendly as possible, but it wouldn't be right for me to show you only part of what I found and not all of it. Disney made an adventure-packed treasure hunt and took us along for the journey. Now I'm going to start with my favorite Easter egg. Something that you may not know about me is that my favorite genre of movie is submarine movies. Yes, I'm putting all of them in their own category. Now if you watch the submarine part on the edge of your seat, you will notice this.
ISO, set course to 240. 15 degrees down angle on the bow planes. Come right, 240.
15 degrees down angle on the bow planes. If you know submarine movies, you've heard this before. In 1990's movie, The Hunt for Red October, you must go watch it if you've never seen it, with the legendary Sean Connery. This is the exact same dive that they did on Red October.
15 degrees down angle on the bow planes. Come right, 240.
15 degrees down angle on the bow planes. Come right, 240.
Now if you notice Cookie's voice, you may realize he sounds like Slinky, and that's because they are both voiced by Varney. However, I always see him as Ernest P. Worrell. This guy was my childhood inspiration for a lot of what you see today. The sad thing though is he didn't actually live long enough to see the movie finished. In fact, this line right here wasn't actually played by Varney because he already passed away before they could record this part of the movie. A famous Disney classic that goes on a deep sea adventure is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And just like in 20,000 Leagues Under the sea monster is a machine, not a creature. But just like in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a giant octopus creature destroyed a ship. But if you don't remember this part, that's because this part is actually a deleted scene. Gotcha! The movie takes place in 1914, and World War I started on July 28th, 1914. That's why when you use your eagle eyes, you're gonna see signs advertising to join the military. When you're watching this, you might think this reminds you of Disney's Tarzan. Well, that's because there's over 500 people that worked on Tarzan that also worked on Atlantis. They used a lot of technology to make this movie, but they focused on making it look like it was hand painted. The Disney movie Aladdin also uses real paintings and computers in unison to make their shots. They also had over 200 people that worked on Aladdin that also worked on Atlantis. I think that's why this is an Easter egg and or a direct copy of Aladdin. Also, over 200 of the people that worked on Atlantis also worked on Beauty and the Beast.
200 of the finest men and women I've ever known.
See, I told ya.
And also here you can find a teacup with a chip in it.
It could be the power source the legends refer to, but then it cuts off. It's almost like there's a missing page.
That's very interesting that the next page is cut off, but did you know that's actually an Easter egg to Plato? No, not Play-Doh, Plato. That's the guy responsible for us believing in an ancient city named Atlantis in the first place. And in his findings, he too just randomly cuts off in the middle of a sentence. The mole is a strange character in this movie, but if you dig deeper, you're gonna find a hidden secret. When he's driving, you can see Mole has a picture of a beach hanging up. Now usually heroes would have their girl from back home pinned up for their inspiration, but Mole loves the beach. And if you look at the end, when all of the bad guys turn good guys, they're all showing off their wealth. Look at Mole. His wealth is digging into a bucket full of dirt that has the waves painted on the outside of it. Also, those waves are famous. There's a theory that this island is where Atlantis used to be, and it got deleted by a massive volcano named Santorin. And that's where Disney got the name for this character, Santorini. Ooh, Santorini, Santorini! Did you know that there was also a real key that they made so you can decode the writings in the movie? Well, thanks to my Discord, we know that most of the stuff that we see seems to be just a bunch of gibberish. But in this moment here, it does say, eat fish. Speaking of fish, the fish that you see in Whitmore's mansion, these fish are and they were believed to be extinct in 1938. So at this time in 1914, Mr. Whitmore literally owns extinct fish in his home. Maybe this is just to show off how rich he is. Maybe he's the one that brought him back from extinction. Also, when he shows us all the team's resumes on the table, he doesn't show us Commander Lyle's resume. And this is to not give him away as the bad guy. Just a year before Atlantis, we had Star Wars 1 come out, and they drove into the Earth just as well, while simultaneously having a giant monster try to eat him, or kill him. Probably kill them. Milo is voiced by Michael J. Fox, who is most known probably for his work in Back to the Future. And in Back to the Future, the show ends driving the DeLorean into the screen, or what we would call the fourth wall. This wall right here is wall number 4. And if you watch in Atlantis, this is exactly how Atlantis ends, driving his fish into the fourth wall. So now we move on to the rated PG-13 part. Throughout the movie, you can see Atlantis logo all over the place, like on the walls and the floors and the documents. But if you look, even the splash in the ocean has the logo. Kinda makes me suspicious because there's a certain pizza joint that likes that particular logo. You know if you know, because your freedom is an illusion. Keeping that in mind, there is a single frame in this scene right here that's not exactly family friendly. So I'm not gonna point out what it is, but if you're old enough to know, you're gonna see it. Ironically, you're only gonna be seeing this if you watch it on DVD or VHS, because on Blu-ray, it ain't there. Then to add more spice to the show, look at this scene right here. Mr. Whitmore is in a bathrobe and does a handstand, and if you thought that was creepy, you are correct. And if you had any doubt in your mind what you're looking at, they confirm right here his robe is clearly fallen all the way. Trash. And just to keep adding to the pile, we have Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was once a legend in the comedy landscape, a founding father if you will. He's obviously since been canceled, and rightly so. But way back in 2001, most of us didn't know about his evilness. Even though if you were a big fan of him and you watched all of his stand-up comedy, you should have been seeing some red flags.
And drop it in a Coca-Cola. Don't matter.
It doesn't make it, and the girl would drink it, and
she's yours.
Hello, America.
Nonetheless, here's a reference to a skit that he's known for, going to the dentist.
Stick out your tongue and say, ah.
Oh, no, really.
So, where you from? Really? I have family up that way. Beautiful country up there. You do any fishing?
Oh.
Dentists don't do that. They go. Then they want to talk to you. Do you ever do any fishing?
Why isn't Kidda an official Disney princess? Because in this movie, she's clearly a princess and she turns into a queen. Film 3 already made a great video on why some princesses become an official princess and others don't. Ultimately, it comes down to money. And since Atlantis flopped in the box office, she has no hope of becoming an official Disney princess anytime soon. Or maybe it's because of all the stuff that they hid in the movie right in front of our face and none of us saw it. They were also going to make a submarine ride in Disneyland that was Atlantis themed, but canceled that plan because of the failed public interest in the movie. Thank you to Discord for helping with the research on this particular movie, and as always, thank you to the members for your support. Let me know what movie you want to talk about next and you could get a shout out in the next video. But until then, remember, most importantly of all, share a smile, they are contagious.